Before the world knew the raw, aching sound of Otis Redding, before his voice became the sound of longing, struggle, and soul, there was a boy born into the American South, a place where talent was abundant, but opportunity was not. Otis Ray Redding Jr. was born on September 9, 1941 in Dawson, Georgia, but he grew up in Macon, a town shaped by segregation, poverty, and unspoken rules about who was allowed to dream. Life in the South for a black child was not designed to nurture ambition. It was designed to limit it. Otis grew up in a working-class family. His father worked as a laborer on a nearby Air Force base, doing whatever he could to keep food on the table. There was no safety net, no luxury of failure. If you wanted something, you worked, or you went without. From an early age, Otis understood struggle. But like many great voices before him, his refuge was the church that shaped the sound. The church was the only place where Otis felt completely free. Their voices were not judged by polish or perfection, but by feeling. You didn't sing to impress, you sang to survive. You sang because something inside you needed to come out. Otis joined the church choir as a child. He wasn't trained, he didn't know technique. But when he opened his mouth, people felt something shift in the room. His voice carried weight. It wasn't smooth like Sam Cooke's. It wasn't gentle. It was rough, urgent, and deeply emotional. Even as a boy, Otis sounded like someone who had already lived a hard life. A voice too big for the room. By his teenage years, Otis was performing in local talent shows and small events around Macon. He often competed at the famous Douglas Theater. Winning week after week, the prize money was small, but the confidence it gave him was enormous. Still, reality pressed in. Otis dropped out of high school to support his family. He worked as a laborer, a driver, and eventually as a band singer, performing wherever he could. Music was not yet a dream, it was a gamble. Most nights, he sang not for fame, but for survival. The long road to being heard. Otis spent years traveling across the South, singing backup, watching others get opportunities while he waited. Rejection became normal, doors stayed closed. Promises were made and broken. But Otis had something many didn't: patience. He believed that if his voice was honest enough, it would eventually find its place. That chance came when he joined Johnny Jenkins and the Pinetoppers as a driver and occasional singer. Ironically, Otis was not the star. He was just along for the ride. Until one day, everything changed. The song that opened the door. During a recording session at Stax Records in Memphis, Otis was given a few minutes at the end of the day to sing. No expectations, no pressure. He performed These Arms of Mine. The room went silent. It wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was vulnerable. Stax executives knew immediately. This voice was different. Otis was signed shortly after.